What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy CrayG. Today's video, I really want to go over a lot of the problems with CarX PC right now, and a lot of the fixes, reworks, and balances that I feel like are needed and that can make this game pretty much perfect. If you guys have any other suggestions that I miss in this video, make sure you comment them down below. I just want to say this before I get started. I respect everybody's opinion. You're having issues with the game. There are problems with the game, and I agree with that. I'm not nullifying anyone's opinions. I just feel like there's a way to share them and there's a way not to share them, you know? If you share your genuine concerns in a way that can be heard, they will be heard. If you're just spewing hate negatively, that's not gonna do anything for anyone, right? But let's get into it. I'm probably just gonna drive around, you know what I'm saying? Drive around and cruise around, and we'll go over these things as we kind of get to them, right? The first thing that I wanna talk about that definitely needs a rebalance and a rework is gonna be the AI in the game. Oh my gosh. The AI racers, the traffic as well, they interact with the world as if I don't exist. You guys have seen in races, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have experienced in races, how the AI are just bullies. They follow their line as if you're not even there. I've gotten pitted probably 100 million times, and it definitely gets frustrating. You know, I've had to restart races and I've had to redo stuff over and over and over because the AI just don't even know I'm there. They're following their line. Their cars are like bricks, and if you try to pit them or you try to play a little bit dirty back, you just end up taking yourself out, you know? They're planted on their lines and they're not going anywhere. I would like to see some adjustability with that. And a lot of these issues have came over from the mobile version of the game, which I agree. There's a lot of stuff that should have been ironed out before it came out on PC. And people mention how we've been waiting for so long, and we have been. We've been waiting for a long time for this game. I do feel like they got to a point where they didn't want the hype to completely die out. And so before they had a chance to perfect the game, they released it for the community to experience, and they let us know with a prompt in the beginning saying that the game is still in active development. So some things aren't going to be what they should be, and some things are going to need some working, some rebalancing. So we're going to get there. So number one thing, AI definitely needs a rework, and we'll be all good. The next thing that I want to talk about is going to be the economy, right? So if you've played CarX Street on mobile, you know the economy is kind of based around microtransactions, right? A lot of the things that you have to do, a lot of the stuff that you have to spend money on, it kind of forces you to use microtransactions. The money that you get from races in relation to how much you have to spend on your car to do certain races, and how much these performance parts cost, and even like parts in the styling shop cost. The prices are pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. There are things that are very expensive, and you don't get a whole lot of money from races. So the economy is a little bit weird. It's still kind of structured in a way like the mobile game. The only difference is there is no microtransactions on the PC version. So it's a bit more of a grind to get acclimated and to get the things that you want, right? Which I personally enjoy the grind. It keeps me busy. It keeps the game new. It keeps the game fresh and fun. Me having to actually work for something as opposed to Forza, you log in the game and you get 10 cars off the rip, you know? What is happening down there? Yeah, AI definitely needs a rework. I feel like the economy does need some balancing. I would say maybe a little bit more money from races, right? We get a little bit more money from races, and then some of these performance shop items and some of this stuff gets lowered in cost a little bit. I don't want to make it too easy. Just find a balance. A balance would be nice. Now we are gonna move on to the next topic, and it's all the issues people have been having about binding your wheel, binding your settings, and all that stuff. So what I want to do is I want to go into my settings really quick, into my controls, and I'll show you how I have everything set up. A lot of people have been asking me, how'd you get your shifter binded? How'd you get your handbrake binded? How does your wheel work? I have a full MOZA setup, and they may continue to add support for more wheels as we go along, so don't count yourself out yet. Basically, you have to bind things per device. So on my base, I have all this stuff binded: my steering, my pedals, brake, clutch, all this stuff, my paddles, all that stuff, right? I don't have handbrake binded. I don't have my shifter binded on this one here. But then when you go out to the handbrake device, I have this binded here. So you have to bind them separately to each device. You see on my shifter, I have all my gears binded here. You have to bind them to specific device. Make sure your gearbox type is manual, your clutch mode is manual as well. And then they have a force feedback slider. I would like to see more wheel settings here, but hopefully those will come in the future. But I have been seeing that a lot of people have been having issues with getting their stuff binded and set up. And I haven't had that issue. My stuff has worked pretty well since the beginning. There's support for MOZA, so hopefully we see more support for Thrustmaster, Logitech, and different wheels like that, because that's what I've been seeing that's people have been having the most issues with as far as getting their stuff binded. I've seen a lot of handbrake and shifter comments about that, so hopefully this gets taken care of and we can get that fixed, and it'll make the game even better. Now, graphics, I think the graphics are in a really good place. Sometimes you can still tell that it's a mobile game, but other times it looks like a AAA game. I even dropped the reshade on the game, so I don't know if you guys can notice that, but I added a little bit of ray tracing, some focal depth of field, some, you know what I'm saying, a little curves, some colorfulness and stuff like that, just to kind of spice the game up a little bit. And in my opinion, it looks great. I drive around on no HUD, you know what I'm saying, all the time, and I love it. A lot of people have also been having issues with their shifters not going into gear. When I first binded my shifter, I was having this problem, but I don't seem to be having this issue anymore. I mean, all my gears sit in pretty well, so I don't really have that problem. The only thing I do notice is that whenever I crash or, you know, I spin out or something like that, my car does like to force neutral. And then I have to, you know, put my foot on the clutch, put it back in gear, and I can drive away like that. Comment down below what experiences you guys are having. And like I said, if you guys have any suggestions that I haven't mentioned in this video yet, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I have seen comments related to having to get gas and tire wear. I think that's a great addition to the game. I think it's pretty solid where it is right now. I don't think that needs any changing or anything. And with the economy being balanced, it will help that a little bit as well. You won't feel like you're constantly having to pour money into gas and tires, because you're gonna have a little bit more money to work with. You're gonna be more comfortable with that, you know? As far as multiplayer, I would love to see traffic as an addition to multiplayer. 16 player servers is solid. 20 would be really nice, but 16 players is pretty good. You can create private lobbies and stuff like that. As you can see, if I go to StreetNet and I just go online, and I can sign in and it'll just throw me in a server, or I can create a private room or join a room by code. I would like to see a server list where you can see, you know, different servers, how many people are in them. And right now, it just auto throws me in a US server. If I sign in, it's gonna put me in a USA server because I'm in the USA. I would like to see the ability for us to be able to change our server to like EU or Asia servers, you know, just like CarX Online, but hopefully that will come in later updates. Maybe hopefully when the console version of the game comes out towards the end of the year, a lot of the things will be thought of and changed and reworked and rebalanced. I do want to talk about the AI dialogue or the AI voiceovers. I mean, I don't see that being changed. It is what it is. It's not the greatest. It just sounds very robotic, and I mean, it's AI. It sounds kind of emotionless. I mean, you can skip it. You can turn those AI voices off. That's not a justification for how bad it is, you know, but at the end of the day, we just have to kind of work with what we have, you know what I'm saying? So if you're hating on the AI voices, turn them off or skip all the dialogue. You won't have to worry about it once you get past kind of the prologue section of the game. You don't really hear much more of it, which, I mean, it would add more to the story if they had these club kind of bosses give a little bit of dialogue and stuff like that, but it's okay. Not a huge deal, not something to really worry about at the end of the day. Now, these are genuine concerns that I'm talking about here, genuine concerns from the community. Optimization is another thing. I just turned my FPS counter on in the top right corner. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit under 60 FPS, and I have a Ryzen 9 5900X and a 3070 with 32 gigs of RAM. My game is on an SSD. I am getting around 48, 49 frames. All my settings are on ultra, max everything, motion blur on, advanced smoke on, everything's on, and I have a reshade over top of the game with ray tracing and a couple things like that, right? Optimization is a big thing. I've seen a lot of people mention how their game's not optimized, how they have these killer machines and they can barely get 60 to 100 FPS. I understand that that is frustrating, right? Definitely frustrating. And I would say optimization is definitely something that can be reworked or rebalanced as time goes on. So we'll give that some time, give the devs some time to kind of look into optimizing the game a little bit more. And hopefully we get some better FPS and it'll run a little bit better for a lot of people's machines. I mean, but for me, honestly, even at 48 to 50 FPS, it still is pretty smooth for me. My OBS has been tweaking a little bit. I'm getting little micro stutters here and there that I haven't been able to kind of fix yet. I've tried a bunch of things on my OBS, my recording software, to kind of fix these micro stutters. So you may see a little micro stutters in the recording, but for me, that is non-existent. The gameplay is smooth as butter. And yeah, I love that you can just drive around and see people here and they're not disappearing like on Forza when Forza launched. Oh, are we sliding here? I do see a lot of people saying that the physics are trash, and I think that's people are just saying it just to say it. The physics feel really good to me. I can't compare it to like another game. People are comparing the physics to like Need for Speed and a lot of stuff like that. I mean, I play this game on a wheel, and so it feels really good to me. I haven't had a chance to try it on controller, but there have been people that play on controller a lot, like main controller, and they're telling me that the game feels great. So those are kind of split. Some people think the physics are trash, other people like the physics. They're not super sim-like, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely arcadey. I would say more along the lines of Simcade, just from my personal experience, but that may differ along the line. So I mean, I would just like to see them possibly just smoothing out the physics a little bit. If it's a done deal, it's a done deal, and it's what we have. And if you don't want to play the game based on the physics, I mean, that's your thing, and I completely respect it, right? But me personally, I enjoy them. Another thing too, don't say the physics are trash if you just hop in with a stock car and try to be the best racer out or the best drifter out. You have to mod your vehicle. You have to make changes, upgrades, and stuff like that for your car to feel a lot better. And I would imagine that that will change how the physics feel in your mind once you start making these changes to your car, right? So I just want to say that as well. Like I mentioned earlier, man, if there's anything that I missed, any other suggestions that you guys have down in the comment section below, feel free to throw that down there and let's get this discussion going, man. Like I said, the game is not perfect. I respect everyone's genuine opinion, and I just want to see the game be great. I want to see the community be great. I'm not getting paid to glaze CarX, nothing like that, I promise y'all. And I hope you guys realize that I'm just trying to look at the positives in the game and be able to enjoy it, right? It's fresh, it's new, and I want to be able to enjoy this game. There are a lot of racing games that were way worse on launch and they got tore up, but we gave them time and they fixed these issues. And these are AAA games I'm talking about, like Forza. In the beginning of Forza launch, multiplayer servers were unplayable. Everyone just kept disappearing and stuff like that. The game was super unoptimized, but we gave them time and they got that fixed, and that's a AAA game. The CarX team doesn't have a AAA budget. They're working with what they have. So the more we support, the more they can bring these changes in and make this game what we all want it to be. We can sit back and hate and we can do all of that, or we can give them genuine, respectable feedback and let them work their magic to try to give us the game that we all want. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, and I will catch you in the next one. Deuces.